Petite girls really do deserve better, and I feel like every time it gets colder, my brain is thinking one thing: how can I dress myself without looking like I stole clothes from my parents? I always feel like I look so childish because so many clothes are not meant to fit our bodies. And today I'm going to show you some of my favorite petite-friendly outfits for autumn, where you are going to look really chic, really warm, and also just be really on trend in general. This is a sponsorship with Petite Studio, a brand that actually understands my body. Petite Studio is the only fashionable and trendy clothing brand that is specifically made for your body, for petite women. They are slow fashion, so you are buying things that are really going to be timeless and not something you're going to throw away. Take it from me, who I'm wearing this mohair sweater. Everything is really well made. It's sustainable, and it's also made with natural fibers. They're an indie brand that makes short-run curated collections designed for real petites. All of their pieces are made with petite fit models to ensure the best overall fit anywhere. The Petite Studio team is actually run by real petites in New York City. I am going to be including a discount code in my bio, but here it is down here if you want it right now. Let's get into the video. So much of petite fashion advice is really tailored towards adding a lot more structure. Everything has to be really finely structured because too much of a relaxed structure can really overwhelm your figure. And yes, that is true, but you have to find ways to add relaxed elements strategically. And so you have to do things like find a pair of jeans that land right where you need them to. As a short woman, jeans are often way too long on us, and you can always size down, but then it's too tight around the waist. I like these because not only are they really easy to move around in, but they are very clearly meant for my figure. I don't have to get them tailored. I get to wear sandals, or I get to wear boots with this. You can actually see there's a little bit of billowing. It's a lot more relaxed here. Normally on a sweater that's meant for women who are 5'7", that billowing happens to always happen at the top, where you have a lot of extra fabric right here. And when you have a lot of shoulder, it can actually make you look really smaller unless you have your waist cinched in. So having something that is not only tighter around the waist, where it kind of gives you a little bit of a crop that you can sneak into jeans, you could tuck into jeans or dress or skirts. It's also having it strategically tighter around your wrist is going to highlight the more feminine parts of your body. Also, the fact that this is a V-neck makes it much easier to style, because when you add a little bit of length here, it actually elongates you. I actually have a little bit more of a shorter torso for a petite woman. So my legs are longer and my petite frame is really mostly petite in my torso. So actually having this be a little bit cropped and having a lot of space from the neckline here up actually elongates me a little bit. Everything is kind of being strategically placed. If you actually look at rectangular body styles, so one of the most flattering shapes for them when it comes to crop tops happens to also have that slight V at the bottom. I wanted to show the same concept with a different type of blouse. So instead of a sweater, I'm going to now be doing a blouse. This is very similar, where you have a lot of billowing in the sleeves. This is a very polished shirt. You have the pearl in the front, which I love because it actually reminds me of my Filipino background. But this is a great way to style something that is meant for short women. A lot of the billowing is not meant for our body type. You have to go with brands that specifically use your body frame and your type to actually make clothes. A lot of Western clothing is not meant for short women. So having this tucked into my jeans and actually having the sleeves rolled up into my hip, the thinnest part of me, shows that I still have a really feminine figure. It's not swallowing me whole. Also, I do like the fact that there's a little slit, but having something that actually lands where it's supposed to, where it lands right at my wrist, actually makes me feel like this is a lot more strategically made for my body. I really like the way this looks. This is a great way to just have a little bit more of a feminine silhouette that is also very autumn friendly, that's not going to completely engulf your body. Most trousers are sold wide leg and they are dragging on the floor. Those kind of oversized wide leg trousers that are really huge right now, I by definition actually huge, I actually love that look, but sometimes I just want to look a little bit more streamlined. So having something that elongates my figure is going to help in this scenario. I am currently wearing a pair of high-waisted trousers and actually a lighter color. I almost never do a lighter color on the bottom because I always feel like that makes me look shorter. However, I want to really drive this point home, is having something that is slightly tapered where it's supposed to be as a short woman, but then having a little bit of a pleat right here. These two things are a bang up, perfect way to actually look longer in your clothes. If you are shorter, you really want to avoid that pooling, that crunching, that scrunching of fabric on the bottom. You really want to have something either straight-legged and cropped right where it's supposed to. I'm wearing shoes with this because this is how I would normally style it. I'm not going to just be walking around barefoot in this, but I love this look because it does land exactly where I need to. Then I'm just wearing it with a simple long sleeve shirt and then having the roll up of the sleeve land where the top lands. I mean, I love a mini skirt, but I still work a corporate job and I work a 9 to 5. You just need to find something that's going to give you the most amount of leg without screaming sexy. And I feel like this is a perfect middle ground. I could totally hike this up and wear it and be a little bit more sexy if I wanted to, but I really like the fact that this mini skirt lands exactly where I need to. If you're gonna wear a mini skirt, you wanna show this part of your leg, the thinnest part. When you have either boots that crop down to here or you're wearing a mini skirt that is a little too short, it can actually make you look shorter, but you want to elongate your legs. So that is just strategic placement in the most conservative way possible. I also wanted to show a very casual version of this because this is actually how I would style something. And a bomber jacket is going to probably add a lot of volume to you unless you pick one that lands where you need it to. I like this one because it's vegan leather, but I also like the color of it. You want your clothes to look like they were tailor-made for you and you're just naturally and effortlessly that stylish. This is a great way to accomplish that with this jacket, but I really want to focus on the mini skirt. Also, I do like that this is very trendy. Like, this is one of my favorite jackets right now. As you go for a mini skirt, something that you have to take into account is the fact that a lot of times when you are showing too much leg, it can actually make you look shorter or wider. So having it land at your hips where it's going to showcase your figure. So if I wore a long sleeve top under this and it'd be very work appropriate, it is just kind of showing off that waist if you are wearing a skirt that cannot have a belt. This could have a belt, but I don't feel like it would break it up as well. I do like this especially because it just shows off the smallest part of me, and it's very 1960s. Like, this is a very modern 1960s look. But also having tall boots and a mini skirt is the best way to show the maximum amount of leg. The best friend of petite women when it comes to silhouettes happens to be an A-line skirt. And I will say that very flared out A-line skirt is very dated now. So finding a way to be slightly A-line is going to be your friend. This is a great example of that. Having this skirt is a great way to show the silhouettes that are really flattering on petite body, and it doesn't need to be just a mini dress. Mini dresses look fantastic on petite women. I know that. I wear them all the time. But having something that is slightly A-line, there are a lot of trends I feel like I miss out on because I know that they aren't meant for my body. This is a trend that was not meant for my body that we are making work. Because this is slightly flared out, because there's a slight A-line, I am just wearing a very tight bodysuit under it and then a pair of very simple heels. And I'm even choosing a heel that is meant to cut off my foot to actually make me look shorter in an effort to show you how flattering this is on someone who's petite. Petite women are constantly told, you don't want something that's going to cut off your foot. You don't want something that's going to cut off your leg. You want something that's going to elongate. This is a great example of how to break those rules, how to get out of these mindset and boxes we put ourselves into and actually wear what feels good to you and wear what's made for you. So for the longest time, I really believed that maxi skirts were not meant for me or my body. I just felt like every time I saw one, I was just worried that it would look a little too long. But this is actually a great example of how to do a maxi skirt. So the thing about this skirt, it has a slit in the front that makes it easier to move, but it lands at a length that is actually quite comfortable. You have probably seen me in the suede version of this skirt, which I've worn in, I really want to say like 15 videos. I really do love it. But I decided, because it was a maxi skirt, to add some balance by showing a little bit of skin on the top half. It really was hard to find a maxi skirt that was going to fit well. I have this in suede and I also have this in wool, and it's lined and it's warm, but just adding a lot of balance, having something that I can actually belt where it showcases my figure and I don't have to get hemmed is great. So where it lands is actually important because it lands right at the ankle. It just crops where it needs to in comparison to looking like it's a little too long and dragging and you have to wear stilettos. I can wear flats with these. I can wear sneakers with these if I want to. I'm wearing them with heeled boots just to add a little bit of length. If you want to even take this game even further, you can actually add tall boots so you can't see the shoes under, and that's going to boost the length here. I like to wear this with like even a hoodie just to make things a lot more interesting. This is one of my favorite pieces, especially during that transitional period when you can just wear the tank top, wear it with a graphic tee, and it's just a much more interesting outfit. This skirt is like my favorite year-round piece in my spring outfits, in my summer outfits even, in my autumn outfits. This is like a very transitional summer to autumn outfit, but I wanted to show a different version of this skirt and show you how it works in a different aspect. So it is showing my ankle just very lightly in this very I'm flirting but in the Victorian era kind of way, not showing so much leg, because the higher up you go, if it lands mid-calf, it could make you look shorter. So having something that's going to land either down here or above the knee is the sweet spot. I also like where it lands, where it just lands right below my waist, so I can actually show a little bit of my waist. Yeah, I could go up and belt it and that would work. I'd like to show a little bit of that, and because I want to be a little bit more edgy, having a slight sliver of midriff actually, I think, makes the outfit a little bit more fun. So this is a very voluminous sweater that I saw and instantly knew I wanted it. I kept it on my wish list for a hot second, and then I decided to treat myself. So this is a very voluminous sweater, and a lot of times really voluminous sweaters can really engulf you. But this one actually works because of the slight boat neck. The roundness of this sweater is actually going to soften that, because the sweater is slightly voluminous. And right now, the way that I'm wearing it with a mini skirt, this is a cute outfit on its own. I really like it, but I want to take it up a notch. Having all of this texture and all this volume actually works because of where everything lands. The mini skirt lands and shows a good amount of leg and above the knee. So I'm wearing a belt under this, so I'm just going to French tuck it in this very tan France way. And then I'm just going to fold it over. I still want to see the buttons, because I actually think the buttons are the star of the show when it comes to this outfit. The buttons are actually a very small detail that add a lot of intrigue on a very mohair sweater. It just it shines. And then I'm going to take the sleeves of this and roll them up. So it highlights my elbow. And it's not because I'm particularly trying to show my elbow. I'm trying to strategically direct you to what is supposed to be my waist. I also feel like a lot of times sweaters just kind of swallow my body, so I'm really picky about them. I feel like this one is a perfect example of how to wear a sweater that's going to work for you. I really love this sweater, not because of Taylor Swift reasons, although that is not hurting right now, but I also feel like it's a very flattering color on a lot of people. I actually think that a lot more people can pull off orange. I think that this is a perfect autumn outfit. This is my most worn jacket this year. As you can tell, I'm really in a bomber phase. I really like this bomber look, but this is how I like to style something, where if I'm going to do a lot of volume on the top, like this sweater and this jacket, I want to have things a little bit more dainty on the bottom. Also, on days that I just want to walk around and feel cute and not be wearing tennis shoes, highly recommend these. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for Petite Studio for making clothes that are truly meant for my body. Every single time I put something on, it really does feel like it fits me like a glove. I'm going to link all products down below if you're interested in trying any of them. But Petite Studio has been awesome to work with. Every single time I work with them, I get really excited because they really do understand my body. And I hope to see you guys all at the next video.